Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. We're talking about David Haye on November the 5th, a fireworks night in the UK. All connected to Guy Fawkes and all those good things. Fireworks going all over the place at the moment. My sister's dog is basically going ballistic. Doesn't want to go outside, running up and down confused. Firework night is never a great thing for dogs anyway, or any animals for that sake, pets funny on that subject note. All right, so boxing of recent times has been on a high. Big fights being made, not so big fights being made. Fighters are having to fight, as I said, as we went into the first lockdown. Now that these things are coming to pass, fighters that were unbeaten are either stepping up to the plate and delivering the goods, or either getting exposed or matched competitively, a bit too competitively. And with that happening, we're getting some adverse results. Adverse meaning results that fanboys, or results that the fan are slightly confused as to what a good fighter is being upset. All right, which leads me into my conversation with Mr. David Haye. You know, when I talk usually about subjects, people think I'm going off onto tandems and going off into random things, and then afterwards things happen. They go, "Oh, you did say that." Well, I'm going to talk about Mr. David Haye. Straight up, talked about some really heavy subjects. Sort of recently, we've had Coach Chris on talking about Deontay Wilder. We've had James Al-Bashir on talking about Usyk and various things in the heavyweight division. This man, Mr. David Haye, I'm straight out. I am a fan of David Haye. Listen, David Haye has got me, I won't say the word mesmerized, but ever since when David Haye talks, he does command a certain amount of attention, even if you damn well know deep down inside yourself, you know, this guy's talking a whole heap of rubbish. He could sell you. This guy could sell you like turd, and he could tell you, I've seen since I've seen this turd, right? This turd's gone great, you know. It's faster, slicker, better turd. It's the best turd you're ever going to see, and you'd believe David. You really would believe David. David actually is when you talk about the word promoter, David Haye is promoter, right? And there's not. Listen, David Haye is, when it comes to promotion, he just does it in such a manner. He is amazing, absolutely amazing. Listen, in terms of the UK, if you want a representative in the UK to represent you on the world stage, never mind the toe gate, put that aside a second. But when your man's going to dress sharp, speak well, you know, look good, get the attention of the ladies, I'm David Haye. There's no one better to do it. Tyson Fury can say what he wants, but if David Haye is a different class altogether, he's a promoter as well, different class. Love Tyson for what he does and the stuff he talks in his own way, but David Haye is a class above. He is a different being altogether. And I want to talk about David Haye, two things, but I'm going to go down this route first. You see David Haye here? You see, I don't care who the MP for Bermondsey is at the moment. I don't care who the MP for Bermondsey is. But see this man here? David Haye can become the MP for Bermondsey. And I'll go one step further. If you put Boris Johnson in a room with David Haye, yeah, who would you listen to? Boris Johnson or David Haye? I'm telling you, you go with David Haye. If you saw Boris blustering and waffling as Boris always does, waffle, you listen to David. David would convince you. This is not whether you believe in Brexit or you don't believe in Brexit. It's not about that. But David would say, listen, Brexit, you know, I believe in Brexit. You know, we can have a smooth transition between here and there. You know, we're going to get everything great. Everything's going to work out well. You know, I've seen the Brexit vision, and it's bigger, it's stronger, it's faster, it's better. Since I've been involved with Brexit and this Brexit deal, I just feel it. You know, I just, you know, I'm going to have orgasm in my pants now. Yeah, I can see a bright future for Britain. I can see it. I say you never see a black prime minister in this UK in the UK. We see with under David Haye. I can see. Listen, this is pure waffle, and I don't want anyone to take me too seriously. But whoever the Bermondsey MP is, they need to watch their step, because see this man David Haye. David could get into politics, and don't sit here and tell me that Manny Pacquiao and Vitaly Klitschko would be better politicians than this man. You've got Senator Pacquiao in the Philippines. You've got Vitaly Klitschko, who's I think is the mayor of Kiev, and you're telling me that the Battersea bomber, the Hayemaker himself, David Haye, could not be a politician? Are you going to sit down and tell me this guy could be a politician? Listen, this guy could be the spokesperson for boxing. Watch. Just watch how David Haye absolutely destroys Sky Sports commentary and biased team in a 30-second sentence. I turned the volume down. He didn't say they were talking utter shite, because he still has to keep himself kind of cool with Sky. Diplomatic. You know, David, diplomatic. But if you ask David basically, why'd you turn the volume down, David? You're talking utter shite. And he explained to you why they were talking utter shite on Sky. Oh, Usyk. When Usyk lands a punch, it's great. And when Usyk takes a punch, it's fantastic. And when they do the slow-mo, it's on Usyk. Basic David telling you that Sky are basically as biased as they can come. And they won't back their local guy. They won't back the guy from the UK. They'll back the guy from abroad. David's basically telling you that to your face. He's telling the British fans, you've been taken for a ride. And David's got a point. He's basically said, I turn it down, I turn the volume down, I don't listen to what they're saying in the corners because they say Usyk is so great. Listen to Sky commentary. David's telling you the truth. David is telling you the absolute truth, right? About Sky commentary. David was on an absolute fantastic run. Like, he was talking about Chisora. Oh, you know, Usyk's the pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. And Derek Chisora, I scored it 7-5. But you know, his manager scored it even closer. David's already selling the next fight with Chisora. He's put it into people's minds. A third fight with Dillian Whyte. Well, he's in great shape now, and he'd be even better shape for Dillian Whyte. You know, he because of the 1 point. You know, then Derek went in there and got caught with a left hook. But this time round, he's going to be sharper than ever. And he's already selling you that third fight with Derek Chisora. And you dare sucking and going, yeah, let's see a third fight with Derek. He's had 10 losses now. Have you ever known anybody to have 10 losses, right? And then still sound like if they're world class and sound as if they can still become a world beater? That is David Haye. David Haye, there is no manager in the UK that talks like David Haye for their fighter. Nobody. No, you bring me what? Nobody talks like David Haye. Nobody. And he does it with such ease. Then he was talking about Dillian Whyte. Oh, you know, Dillian Whyte's got to look after his corner. You know, he got flattened by so he was able to actually dismiss Dillian Whyte's team in just a few words. David is just so to put these to what he's done, dismantle what people say, and just make sure at the end that Derek Chisora remains on top. If you listen to David Haye, like I said before, if it were me and I had any control, I'd be making David Haye MP for Bermondsey. Because I could sit down and I could listen to David Haye all day long. I could listen to David all day long. He could talk. Listen, I could look at David and say, David, I know you're talking absolute shite here. But to be fair, what he was saying about Sky and their biased commentary, he was bang on the money for that. Absolutely bang on the money. But David will sell you, like I said, he is a tremendous salesman. And I think he's a tremendous salesman, absolute tremendous salesman. But you know, I don't know how he sat there, Black History Month. I don't know how he sat in the BT studios and had Paul Dempsey say the best man informed to talk about Black History Month. I don't know how he stood his cool there, and then they cut to bloody Steve Bunce, a white guy, talking about what he knows about Black History Month, and they couldn't talk to David Haye, and he's the guy in the room. Okay, he might be half black, but still, they didn't talk to David Haye, but they went to Steve Bunce. How David Haye was able to just stay there so cool and just so professional and not do one of his, usually his eyebrows going up as if what the hell's going on here. David Haye commands respect in terms of a room. There is nobody in British boxing. How many articulate guys are there like can pull off the stuff that David Haye pulls off? This is Derek has always had 9 losses, now 10 losses, and we're still looking for Derek in another pay-per-view fight. And the British fans will soak it up. How many people do you know could talk about a gang rape, as distasteful as it was? David Haye'd say that and just get away scot-free. I don't know what it is about David Haye. He's almost like the Teflon man. I mean, after Donald Trump, this guy's a Teflon man. He could say what he likes, basically say what he likes and get away with it. Now, Fury, on the other hand, said some stuff and he got into so much trouble. So David Haye, for me, he should go into politics. If it isn't already happening behind the scenes, or he should be a presenter for a TV show. I would love to see David present a TV show. You know, David Haye could tell you, some, I'm sure he could tell you stories of his clubbing past, which Tony Bellew would love to tell you about. But you know what? David Haye, I mean, he'll tell you as it is. You know, David is a diplomat, as I said. Let me hear. People may never forgive him for Toegate, but I forgive David for Toegate. It was a bad calculation. And when he went for the fight with Tony Bellew, that was a bad calculation as well. But David Haye in general, master genius for me. Absolute master genius. Let's see what people are saying about David Haye. Steve Pemberton says, Haye's a natural salesman. He's far better than Eddie Hills. He does talk utter bollocks, but he does it superbly. Absolutely. Of course, he's better than Eddie Hearn. Come on. You put Eddie in the room, you put David in the room. It's entertainment. I love to see David when he talks. Hey, David, listen, if you're listening, I want to listen. I've still got my cane rose going. I've still got my crown. You got your crown, bro. I'm still learning how to get the old crowns going. You know, I'm not getting rid of the afro over again. I'm gonna know. I'm just gonna watching the Hayemaker. The crown is lovely, lovely, David. Thank you. You should give a shout out to whoever does your hair as well, bro. And make them a bit more money as well. Next, David Haye could sell dog shite to Bill Gates. He could. He could. He could sell vaccines to Bill Gates. He could. He could sell the vaccines for Bill Gates. You may have seen dog shite before, but you haven't seen this pile. It's real. It's fresh. It's produced by one of the best breeds of dogs in the world. It must see once in a lifetime. David, we love you, man. We love you, David. And like when David was preparing to fight Derek Chisora, anyone was in the house, I would say, shh, the Prime Minister's talking. Shh. They go, that's not the Prime Minister. That's not. I said, that is the Prime Minister. That's my Prime Minister. So when David talks in a room, it's got to be quiet. Got to hear what David's got to say. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. David's funny. Would you let someone just walk into your house and burgle you? No, you wouldn't. Steve says, LOL. Steve says, he should run for Mayor of London. Yeah. David should be Mayor for London. I think he should run for Mayor for London. Definitely. I tell you what we can have, yeah? David Haye for Mayor for London, but you could, and Prince Naz could be Deputy Mayor. Or I'll tell you what, now I would do a TV show, a boxing TV show, yeah? Naz and David Haye. The Naz and Haye show. Listen, could you imagine the Naz and Haye show? All right, get rid of Bunsen and Steve, whatever his name is. No disrespect to them, but Naz and Haye doing a show together. Could you imagine? That would be something, eh? Haye's the type of guy who could sell a life of poverty to a billion. Yeah, he could. Sky's commentary is the worst. It is. So for people in America like Coach Chris, who haven't had the benefit or the pleasure of listening to David Haye in full Haymaker mode. I mean, they may have heard him for the whole Klitschko fight, but yeah, you need to have David Haye. David Haye should go to America as well, do work in America. I don't know if the Americans would soak him up the same way, but he's got crossover appeal. And one of the things about David Haye's career that I really, really peed me off was the long absence he had outside the ring. I would love to see him sign up with Al Heyman and fight in America. I'd love to see him fight in Vegas, the big fight in Vegas, or I'd love to see him fight in America or the Barclays Center. But the only way you're going to see that now is on Fight Night Champion. Sky's commentary and coverage is very poor. Agreed. It's beyond poor. I'll never forget that AJ Parker pillar fight where they were trying to sell it as a massive. Oh dear. David Haye, maybe George Groves, and you, Brother Ingram, are the only folk in the UK not on that BS. Yeah, well. Oh well, I just speak as it is. But I like David. I tell you, I love David. Haye is a great salesman. Always has been a great talker. Hey, things go the way they're going at BWTM. I'll tell you something. I would definitely like to see David have a show with David and Naz. Absolutely. David does have the freshest cornrows in Europe. He always looks fresh from sitting between the legs. David Haye. Listen, they talk about being a fanboy. Yeah, I'm saying I'm a fanboy, David. I'm saying it. David could say what he wants, and I'll just accept it. You remember when he said David Haye said, if you need to get an autograph, then you need to do. He said, if you need to do an autograph, you need to do 10 press-ups, and you need to let your bird kiss me as well. I mean, who could do that? Who could pull that off? Only David. Really want him to get a proper stable together and give Hearn and Frank a proper run for their money. Oh, I'd love that. Wouldn't you love that? I would love that. I would love David to do that. Have you ever interviewed Naz or Haye? I have interviewed both. I've interviewed David Haye. I interviewed David Haye at the Groves versus Frotch 2. In fact, I made him laugh. I spoke to him the one time I spoke to him there, and then I was trying to interview him for the CHISORA fight, but he was just rammed with so many people I couldn't get to him. But yeah, I have interviewed him, and I have interviewed Prince Naseem Hamed before. An absolutely gold interview with Prince Naseem Hamed. But again, that's not on this channel. That's on BWTM Online. If you haven't subscribed, get across there. There's some gold interviews over there. Interviews with Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford, Destiny Charles, former manager. There's just loads of gold stuff over there. Yeah, loads of stuff. So get across over there and check that interview out. David Haye. In fact, the David Haye interview is one of my biggest interviews ever. So yeah, check that out. Even though CHISORA didn't win, the commentary was biased. Well, yeah, we know that. What's David Haye like in person? Well, when I met him, he's nice enough guy. Seems cool. Seems a cool dude. Haye was a class fighter, one of the best we've ever produced. Yeah, but I'm not interested about David Haye the fighter now. That's not what I mean. That's not what I'm on. I'm not in that. I'm not on that tip. What I'm on the tip on is David Haye after boxing. I'm talking about David Haye, the politician. David Haye in politics. David Haye, you know what I mean? David Haye, the promoter, the manager. David Haye could sell his grandma for a quid. He probably could. Yeah, she gives a great service. She does. She really does have a great service. There's no doubt about it. This is what you need to be got. This is the best grandma ever. Do you know what I mean? I've seen my grandma in action. Bigger, faster, stronger, better. David could do it, and David could sell you anything. David could sell you anything. Right, does anybody want to give me, just before I finish this, does anyone want to give me any of David Haye's greatest hits? He's selling. Remember, he's selling the Klitschko fight, and Klitschko looked like he was about to punch him, and he went, "Oh, this is gonna be a great fight. This is gonna be a great fight. A great fight." You know, my spider senses were tingling. You know, I was getting a boner. I was getting a boner. I was just getting a boner. You didn't see that HBO? And he's talking about getting a boner. This guy, David Haye, is unbelievable. Do you remember when he had that cowboy hat and boots? I mean, only David could pull it off. Who the hell walks around with a cowboy hat and boots? I mean, only David Haye could do that. Honestly, only David. Any boxing interviewers ever reached out to you to work with alongside them? Any boxing interviewers ever reached out for you to work alongside them? No. If I was in a position, and that doesn't mean in the future I wouldn't be, I would definitely have him to host a show for BWTM. Definitely. David Haye, what? Haye's been coming across better in recent interviews. He was pretty bang on about White in the last one. Yeah, David, I told you, David's moving in a different direction. You know, he was gonna have that movie career, and it didn't work out for him. I think David Haye, post whatever his personal situation with his missus and whatever happened all there, I don't know what happened with all that, but I can tell you, you know, when you come out of you come out of a relationship and you've been together for a long time, it takes a time for you to find yourself, and then when you find yourself, you're able to some people excel, and I think David's excelling. I think David's finding himself. He's found his niche and is excelling. I really do think he's excelling. Remember those two comedy comeback fights? The YouTube Mark Demore and the Cobra. Can't recall. Both utterly hopeless, and it was top of it all was on the Comedy Channel. Yeah, but only David Haye could pull that off. Only David Haye could pull that off on the Comedy Channel. Did you tune in to see the fight? I tuned in to see the fight. It was on the Comedy Channel. It didn't matter. David pulled it off. I'm trying to find the Naz interview with you, but I can't find it. BWTM online. Type in NASEEM Hamid BWTM online. As a matter of fact, I might just get it and post it on here myself. So give me a second. I will look for it. Dave, I mean, I felt anyone ever asked you to? No, hell no, no, it won't happen. Oh, actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I have to give credit to Fight Hype, because I started out my boxing doing interviews with Fight Hype. So if you go back and look at the Haye CHISORA documentary, behind the glove or behind the ropes. If you look in there, I think it's episode 3. You'll see me in the gym, and you'll see me a few times on that Box Nation thing. See, I was a few times in that. That was when I first started out in boxing doing interviews. And I'll tell you something, when I started out going out doing those interviews, people like Adam Booth knew who I was. Frank Warren knew who I was. A lot of them knew who I was. They all knew who I was when I went out and did it, Fight Hype. And that was before I did any sort of like interviews, like out in press conferences. That was the first major press conference I went to. It was because of Fight Hype. So again, shout out to Ben Scott and shout out to Fight Hype. 2012. Because I remember I flew out to Grenada, 15th of July. It was on my birthday. The next day or that, the Olympics started and I flew out of England. So it's 2012. Yeah. So shout out to Fight Hype. Big shout out to Fight Hype. And now BWTMs are on independent, so we won't go and do it for anybody else. Not like that. Not in the UK like that. No. We're building our own model here. See what people are saying here. I was on your live stream talking about Haye beating them up, beating them up. Yeah, but we accepted it. We accepted it was David Haye. He beat the Bidman up. It didn't matter. We were still thinking about him fighting Anthony Joshua. Haye had me believing that he'd beat Joshua and end Matchroom when he said it. Yeah, we all wanted him to do it as well. We wanted David to do it. David's power was unreal. Rock value was who was many stones heavier. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What is it that you do other than the videos? I prefer you interviewing boxers than most of these interviewers. Thank you very much. What else do I do? I build a brand. I work in sports. I do sports consulting and community work. So yeah, that's what I do. How the hell did we get Haye versus Harris on a pay-per-view? Didn't Big Audley lose to Martin Rogan and a few fights before? It's unbelievable, but fair play to him. LOL. That's what I'm saying to you. David can sell a fight. He can sell a fight to the public. Yeah, I can froze like a Yeti in sub-zero temperatures. Didn't throw a punch. Haye is the best salesman along Eddie Hearn in boxing. Nah. No, Eddie doesn't convince me the same way David does. Eddie doesn't convince me the way Eddie does. Eddie doesn't convince the same way David does. No, he doesn't. And Frank, I love Frank as well in his own way, and I love Frank because of the way he builds his fighters. You know something? I'll keep it real with you. Yeah, if Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren were to team up, it would never happen. But if Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren were to team up with a matchmaker from PBC, right? Whoever the matchmaker PBC is, you put them three together, I guarantee you'd have the best boxing outfit in the world. Absolutely. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, and PBC's matchmaker. They would have the best outfit in the world. Great for promotion. Eddie, great for promotion. Frank, great. He knows how to match fighters or build the career fighters. And you got Matchroom. I'm not Matchroom, and the matchmaker PBC. They've had some damn good pay-per-view cards. So there we go. Those three. I think if Haye came out of retirement, even if he shot to bits, he'd do massive pay-per-view runs against White. Yeah, he would. He would. He would. And you know what? People would still be backing, even though he shot to bits, people still back David Haye to beat White. Even if he shot to bits, people still believe David Haye. When a man can do that, when he says publicly, I'm shot to bits. If David Haye said tomorrow, I'm coming back for one more fight, you think people wouldn't come to the ring to watch David fight? Come on. Haye's the type of guy to buy a fake Rolex and convince the jewelers that it's real. That's it. That's it. Is that not what a promoter does? Is that not what a manager does? Watch David. He goes between. Look at David. He's been on Sky. He's been on BT. He's been on TalkSport. This man, he's everywhere. And the only thing, David Haye needs to get himself at ESPN. And David needs to find himself in America, get himself at ESPN, and then try and root himself into PBC. I don't know whatever happened. Does anyone ever know what happened when David Haye was out in America, and there was possible talk of him working with PBC? What was all that about? Did anyone know? Eddie's only good on the weak-minded. Haye's a class apart. Oh yeah, absolutely. Haye is an absolute class apart. That's what's said. Haye can make a fantastic politician. I don't think Eddie could pull that off. Because I think David's more a man of the people. He's more a man of the people. Do you understand? Do you know what I mean? He's more of a man of the people. If David Towan told you he had a rough upbringing, you'd believe it. You'd believe it. You know what I mean, if David told you, yeah, I was with 20 girls last night, yeah, 20 women come to my house last night and I did this, yeah, you believe David Haye. Just think about something for a second. Look at the site. If you look at the recent interview, the recent show, if you look at that BT show, we look at the size of Tyson Fury and the size of David Haye, right? And David Haye was telling us he was going to knock Tyson Fury out. You look at the size of the giant of man that Fury was, and you look at the size of David Haye, and you think to yourself, my God, David was going to fight Tyson Fury. The size of the man, and the way he fought valiant as well. I mean, I like David. I do like David. If Danny Dubois had Dave managing him, it would be amazing for Dubois' career. Haye could speak for him. Yeah. Haye is a fantastic promoter. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know what happened between him and Joe Joyce. I don't know. I don't know if David's interested. Maybe David just doesn't interest in managing fighters. Maybe that's not where David Haye or I don't know, a set of fighters. Maybe that isn't what David Haye's strengths are. But as a spokesperson, he's brilliant. You know, I think even having David Haye at the British Boxing Board of Control would be good. Having David Haye doing that, I'd pay to see David Haye do a masterclass. Wouldn't you pay to see David Haye do a masterclass? David Haye even had. Remember when David Haye did that? He did that box. He's got a boxing video out there, fitness video with all them women in it. He did that as well. Oh, you forget David Haye? I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. David Haye was in that as well. Do you mean David Haye has crossover ability? He's got crossover stardom. The guy should be a superstar. In British boxing, he should be a superstar. And a legendary fighter. That's what I think. Okay, he got beat by Vladimir Klitschko on the toe. Put that to one side. Yeah, and he got beat up by Carl Thompson. Yeah, I remember that. But the only thing about the David Haye career that I just don't want to accept, is the Tony Bellew beating. That I don't want to accept. I just don't want to accept it. Although Tony Bellew beat him fair and square, I don't want to accept it. I would more accept that David had one leg going into that fight. That's what I'll say. Not to discredit Tony Bellew, but just you're happy if David Haye gets beat by Vladimir Klitschko. Fine. All right, fine. And the fight against Carl Thompson, yeah, okay, fine. He took the fight, but it was too soon in his career. But the fight with Tony Bellew, it never sits well with me. It just doesn't. David could use a condom and convince someone to use it after and it's safe. Yeah, he could. Yeah, you know what? I used the condom, but it's all right. You're going there afterwards. It's right, not a problem. Yeah, it's a bit wet and stuff. What would you expect? You know, because I've used it, but don't worry about it. Just use it. You could go out on a Saturday night with David, and David Haye. Can you imagine going out with David Haye on a Saturday night? The only problem you have there was all the girls would go to David Haye. So you just have to accept that. And I'll say, all right, David. Okay, David. Do you know from the start of the night? And be careful, because David might take your girl as well. So he's one of them type of guys, isn't it? Genuine, sort of, you know, not mean genuine, the singer, right? He's one of them kind of guys, isn't it? You know, you couldn't quite trust him around your girl. I mean, yeah, well, she came on to me. You know? Joyce has Sam Jones. What was it? What? Joyce has Sam Jones. Maybe Dubois could do well with someone like an Ambrose Mendy. Yeah, no. David Haye. How can you even bring Ambrose Mendy in the conversation? Hey, Mr. Trick not doing something on WWE. He could have had Fury's. Yeah, he could have done. Nah, I don't think David could pull off WWE. He could pull off a lot of things. I just don't think David could do WWE. He would have had to have that crossover fight in America, and I don't think David could do that. There's some things about no, I don't think David could do that. I personally think David could. David could test positive HIV and convince the girl she wouldn't get it. Yeah. Oh, I've got it, but it's okay. You can still sleep with me. It's fine. It's all right. You know, these things happen. It's life. It happens. We move on. Do you know? But I can assure you that I'm 2.0 or 3.0, and the HIV, I'll get over it. It happens. You know, I'm a vegan. I eat well. You don't have to worry about it. I've got it under control. The toe breaker. Yeah, we know about the toe breaker. Pork talk. Yeah. No, come on. Let's keep it light. We all know about the toe. We're trying to keep it light tonight. We don't need anyone coming and trying to be. There's always somebody has to come in and be smart and ruin the whole vibe in it. We'll talk about David Haye, the salesman, the PR for the MP for Bermondsey, the Prime Minister of England. You know, the saviour of the world, David Haye. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it that way when you listen to David Haye talk, just look at him as the Prime Minister of England, the MP of Bermondsey, the leader of the free nation, the leader of the free world, David Haye. I would love to sit with Dave. Yeah, you'd love to. You'd love to. You'd have more than a beer. Do you know what? Dave would make you pay for the beer, right? He'd walk in, you'd sit down, and Dave would say, "I'll have that, please." So you just point. He'll point and go, "Yeah, I'll have one of those, please," and you would pay for it, and you wouldn't feel guilty at all. He's got that thing about him. You know what? I'd like to talk to David, and one thing I'd like to ask you is, how are you such a good damn salesman? How are you able to talk such absolute rubbish, right? And make people believe you? David Haye needs to release a book. He needs to release a book called In Bed with a Haymaker. I think he would do it. In Bed with a Haymaker. Do you remember when David... This is the sort of legend David Haye is. How many boxers do you know in the UK that open a gym up, right, for book signing, right, priming their career, and have loads of people queuing up outside waiting to get an autograph from the Haymaker? How many boxers did it? Only David Haye. You name them. Like that in his gym. David Haye. Honestly, great stuff. What's your top 5 films of all time? Whoa. Top 5 films of all time. Well, I think it's not New World. It's not New World. I can't remember. Another World. It was done in like 19 something. Another World. It could be Another World. It was about the future. Another World. I love that movie. Guess Who's Coming to Get to Dinner? Imitation of Life. Those are 3 I love. Got to put my superhero movies up there. So there's Superman and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's a top 5, but love The Truman Show. So I'm just going to give you movies that I like. I can't give you a top 5 because that'd be difficult. 1984. I like movies like that. Would I Lie to You is a series. It's a movie. 3 movies. It was in France, and this is following these 3 people around. So Would I Lie to You? Love that as well. Those are 3 movies I loved. National Lampoon Holiday. National Lampoon. I love that as well. So I can't tell you favorite 5 movies because there's so many goddamn good movies out there. I've got 10 million in the bank. You got 20 quid for the rest of the month until you get your benefits. But just being there here with me in the public was worth spending the last 20 quid. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's put David Haye scenarios. Give me a scenario and I'll see if I can picture David Haye in it. Give me a scenario. So I'll start a scenario. Let me think David Haye. What David Haye scenario? Yeah. David Haye has to fly out to America to sort out the current chaos between Trump and Biden. How would David go about that? Goodfellas, Law-Abiding Citizen are 2 of my top films. Okay. David Haye going out to America. How would David Haye handle the situation between Biden and Trump? How would he handle that? Yeah, okay. We'll go. Yeah, have a think about Haye flying out to America to sort out the situation between Trump and Biden and the voting system and the elections. How would Haye handle that situation? You know what? David Haye for 007. David Haye 007. Can you imagine David saying it? Shaken, not stirred. Can you imagine David saying it? Yeah, well, I'm here today. I made to sort things out, I'm here. Well, David, what would David say if he was David Haye fighting with Dr. No? What would David say if he was Yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't mess with me if I were you because I'm 2.0. I'm bigger, I'm faster and stronger, I'm better. And the British government is not to be messed about with. Can you imagine David? The name's Haye, David. The name's David Haye. You just beat me to 007. Yeah, forget Pierce Brosnan. I love Pierce. Probably my favourite Bond. Outside Timothy Dalton. I love Timothy Dalton as well. Right? Probably a very underrated Bond, Timothy Dalton. But I like Pierce Brosnan. But imagine Haye, David Haye. He could do it. I mean, it'd be a toss-up between him and Idris Elba. Because, you know, Idris is an actor. David is also an actor as well. I don't know. Idris Elba or David Haye for James Bond. That's a tough one. Yeah, but David could fight. But so could Idris. Yeah. I'm a Hackney boy, so I don't... to give it to a man from South London, I have a problem with that. But on this occasion, I think David's going to get it. Because, yeah, it's David. David 007. Ingram, my birthday today. Great show. Alec Vinder, my brother. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vinder Singh. Happy birthday to you, my brother. Fireworks. Happy birthday and all the best. And I hope you're enjoying the show with David Haye. Oh, let's go back to David Haye with a girl. Let's see David Haye going on a date with a woman and he's trying to convince her to buy her drinks all night. What would David Haye? What would David say? Sort of David Haye line. What would David say? He's in a room with a girl. He's trying to convince her to buy drinks all night. Oh, here's what you say. Could you imagine your night if you didn't buy all the drinks all night? Could you imagine? Think about the performance I could put on if you bought me drinks all night. Think about what could happen when we get there. When we get back to the room, me and you. Think about it. The performance I could put on. I could put on a great performance. I'd be bigger, I'd be stronger, I'd be faster, better. Just buy the drinks all night. And I guarantee you, I'll give you the best time you could ever have. Just buy them drinks all night. All right? Don't worry. I've got it sorted. See what I mean? If I could put it in value, and if I can make that big 7-foot man, if I can make his legs tremble, babe, I can make your legs tremble as well. Go and get the drinks. That's what I think David would say. Go and get the drinks in. Oh dear me. David Haye should be a mattress advert. Try this mattress. Are you struggling to sleep all night? Right. The name's David. David Haye. Listen, I've had a career putting people to sleep. Right. If you want a knockout, if you want to know about knockouts, try this mattress. I guarantee you're going to get the knockout of a lifetime. I'm David Haye, former world heavyweight champion. Buy this mattress now. You know, I'm telling you, something's coming out of this video. I don't know what, but something will come out of this video afterwards. David Haye should be a superhero movie. I'm the Hayemaker. My superpower is you believe in what I'll say. Yeah, it's David Haye superhero. Look into my eyes and you will believe everything I say. David Haye. David Haye has already made Lavinder's birthday somehow. Yeah, it's your birthday, yeah. But don't forget, I'm in the room, so yeah, don't worry. And all them presents, you give them to me, and your bird gives me a kiss, and you'll do 10 press-ups, and I'll give you an autograph afterwards. Remember the HBO? Remember when he did the HBO face-off of Klitschko? Vlad said his usual stuff. Taylor said, "What do you make of that?" David said, "Well, it's clearly a dickhead." I'm Borat. Shake my hand. Yeah, shake my hand. Cheers. Much respect. Try this mattress. Yeah. This is my favourite stream for a while. Hey, I'm not feeling great at all. I was doing something this evening, quite serious, and I feel awful. I don't feel great at all, but I need something to cheer me up. Because, boxing can be quite intense, and we always talking stuff about very serious stuff. And I feel tonight we just talk about something kind of light-hearted. It's firework night. It's the first night of the lockdown. I think there's a million mask march tonight in London, I believe. So let's hope there's no casualties out there. And I hope everyone has a good evening out there and they protest and without any riots and stuff. We certainly don't want that in London or anywhere for that matter. Yeah. So David Haye, absolutely. I love the Hayemaker. You got to love the Hayemaker. Let's have some other David Haye scenarios. Yeah, but all these things, these presumptions about you couldn't trust your girl around David Haye, and David Haye would, are they actually true though? There is a march in London. Yeah. David Haye on the march in London, Black Mask. Oh yeah, David Haye. Yes, he'd say, "Listen, all of you that are out here tonight that are marching, stop. Look, we need to sort things out here. I've got these masks that have just been flown in from China. They're 100 top quality, filter with them as well. You can't get them anywhere else in the world. They have just been imported from China. But believe me, listen, my relationship with the Chinese is fantastic. I'm wearing the mask myself. You need to get a mask as well. And it's David Haye wearing the mask. You need to get a mask. Just get a mask. Get one for your cat, for your dog. Get one. Just get a mask. Even get a mask for your tap. Get a mask for your tap. Put a mask on your tap as well. Just in case this COVID is out of control. Just make sure, get yourself a mask from the Hayemaker. www.hayemaker.co.uk. Get your mask today. Trust me, it's better to have one. Let's knock this COVID on its head. Get a black mask today. David Haye would cheat at snooker and sucker punch you if he thought you were going to win. No, mate, you can't be having that. You can't be putting the ball. No, mate, you can't be putting the ball down in that hole. No. You're not going to put the whole ball down in that hole. What you should have done is put the hole in this hole. Look, I'll show you it's done. Right, that's it. There you go. That's it. That's how you win a game of snooker. That's the way you wear a pool. That's it, mate. All the drinks on you as well. Thank you very much. And then walk out. Evening, how are we doing? Just pure rubbish talk we're having tonight. Nothing serious. You may have been able to march on bonfire night, but can you go 12 rounds of war CHISORA? That's it. You know what? Derek just went 12 rounds of Usyk, and I can guarantee you after the Usyk fight, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster and better than when he fought Usyk. Because since the Usyk fight, he's turned southpaw, and he went southpaw against one of the best southpaws ever in the universe. And Derek Chisora went southpaw, and he even out-jabbed the southpaw. Even if it was for about 10 seconds, he out-jabbed the southpaw. So Derek Chisora now, he can go orthodox and he can go southpaw. Not a mark on him. He didn't even break a sweat, Derek Chisora. He's ready for Dilly White right now. He can fight. I tell you what, he can fight Tyson Fury this time, and I guarantee you, if he fights Tyson this time, he'll give Tyson something else to think about. Forget Ajak Kabayel. Bring in Derek Chisora. He's ready. He can fight. He can fight Derek. I mean, Tyson wants that third fight, so with Derek. So let's make it happen. Yeah, you can believe Derek would say that. Wrong, Tommy Ingram. There is thumbnail. David would beat you so hard with a tripod you start singing. Hey mate, listen, I've been seeing the type of girls you've been dating recently, and they're not really good. So I thought I'd hit you over there with a tripod, and afterwards, see, you can watch in 4D now. So at least you pick up better birds, yeah. And listen, I tell you what, I'll check them out for you. When you get the bird, bring her around to mine, and I'll check her out. I'll give her the Hayemaker, and if she's all right, then I'll upgrade you to 3.0. All right? Get your mask on a tap. Yeah. They are the type of guy to challenge Ronnie Sullivan at snooker, lose, and then say the version that fought value of would have been won the fight. Well, Ronnie fair play to him. You know, he had put a really good performance on tonight. But I have to say, I'm not making excuses, right? We have to move on. But when I came into that snooker match, my toe, I couldn't move around the snooker table as much as I wanted to, and my shoulder was gone as well. You knew that, but I thought I'd just give it a go against Ronnie. But if I could get myself back in shape, if I could spend some more time at the hospital and do some more rehabilitation, I'm sure we could have a rematch. We can make that pay-per-view, and myself and Ronnie could go again. And there's always a chance I could beat Ronnie. With 2 legs, my toe in place, and my shoulder going, we can make that. We can make it happen. Let's do it. The rematch, I'll be a better model. I'll be better. David Haye, I can manage Ingram. Guarantee you will be the king of the lightweight champions. 100%. Just needs a good management. Oh boy, David is my manager, mate. Now look, you take the fight. Yeah, I know you might lose, but you get to make money there. You might get knocked spark out, but you know what? It's pay-per-view. It's good money. I can always come again. And I'll see what. I'll just tell them you're bigger, you're faster, stronger. I walked into the gym and you looked amazing. Yeah, I could tell them that. What else can I tell them about you? You're hitting harder than ever. You've got a really good team in the corner. Yeah. And they're a good team. Yeah. That's right. That's what they would say. Ask him about David. Oh dear. I hope they upgrade me that day. Right. Tollgate version 2.0. I mean, all these things we're saying about David, are we, honestly, like, jokes aside, are we fair? Are we being fair to David? Are we being fair? Are we being fair? Would you trust David Haye with your girlfriend? Never mind your girlfriend. Would you trust David with your wife? Right? Would you trust David as your manager and your promoter? Is he the best manager in the UK or the best promoter? Do you know who I'd love David Haye to promote? It sounds bad. And I love Tunde Jaya. I think he's a fantastic promoter. But can you imagine David Haye and Anthony Yard? Anthony Yard could be the David Haye of 2020. I mean, Anthony doesn't talk like David, but could you imagine? Anthony's got the mold to do. I think Anthony could pull it off. What do you think? David Haye could sleep my mum and probably convince me it was for the best. Hey, imagine David having to break the news to you, Cameron. It's like this. I've got some bad news for you. Well, it depends how you look at it. I've got some news for you. It just depends how you take it. Well, me and your mum, yeah. I don't know how to put it to you, Cameron, but I sort of slept with her. It wasn't an accident. She kind of came on to me. And your mum is pretty irresistible, so I had to go there. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do it, but I was put in a tight situation. I was tight situation. It's a bit difficult, but we move on. And you might look at it as bad, but you might look at it as good. I mean, I'm David Haye, and former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. You're lying, David. It was only unified. A former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. Maybe you try to tell people he was undisputed champion, but yet try to forget about Steve Cunningham. Former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. Value heavyweight champion of the world. Managing Del Boy Chisora. So if you don't like how it is, I'll send Del Boy around. But if you do like how it is, well, that's good. Maybe next time you could watch me doing it. You could practice it. So when you get your bird, you could do it with your missus as well, the way I do it. So it's all right. You can get the upgrade. If David Haye's in my house, I don't even. I leave my milk out. Oh my God. You tell me. Listen, if David Haye knocked at your door Christmas Day, would you let David Haye in your house? Hey, can you imagine David knocking at your door Christmas Day, knocking your door? Ding dong, ding dong. Huh? Oh, hi. Car broke down. I was wondering if I could pop in for a cup of coffee. Would you let David in? David was knocking at your door. You had a really, really fit missus, and David was there, and would you hug your missus if you saw David at the door? What would you do? Would you let him come in for a cup of coffee? Would you let David in your house? Do you think David would have been a good Hollywood actor and could have made it in Hollywood, Ingram, with his pretty boy and looks and charm? I don't know. Hollywood takes a different type of individual. It's not just about what you do as a person. I think David would want his freedom. I'm not sure if Hollywood would allow David Haye to have freedom, and they would just look at him as just a boxer. You know what I mean? I don't know if he'd have that sort of freedom. Hollywood or Hollywood. I don't know how Hollywood and David would get on. Christmas Day with David Haye at the door. Does he have presents or is he empty out? It makes all the difference in the world. David Haye is the present. David Haye is the gift. You know, forget Santa Claus. Just David Haye. David Haye at the door. Do you know how many women? If you listen, you and David were to go and knock on doors of all the single women in the UK, and David Haye knocked at the doors. How many doors would get slammed on David Haye's face? And how many doors do you think David Haye could get open? My word. My word. You know, the possibilities of David Haye are infinite. MP, you know, he could even have a place in, you know, he could even be in the Avengers. I don't know. He could fit anywhere, David Haye, really, almost. Do you think David Haye? Yeah, I did that already. Any other scenarios we could have with David Haye? I cannot believe I've spent almost an hour just talking about David Haye in different scenarios. I can't believe I'm doing this. What I must be getting? Something must be going senile. Something must be going wrong with me. Must be. David's the type of guy you could convince with a newborn son that he's better than Santa on Christmas Day. Yeah, he could. I have to admit, David could sell a door to homeless men. He's pretty persuasive. Best stream of the year. I'll listen back. Yeah, well, just David Haye. I guess this stream's pretty decent because I'm not having to get caught up in all the nonsense of boxing. Just chilling. I haven't chilled like this for ages. Just David Haye. I wonder. Just for a second. Do you know what? I would love to see. I wonder if David. Hey, Porky, this is a shout out to you, Porky's Corner. David Haye, while Porky's having a rant, David Haye walking into the room with Porky. Could you imagine a scenario of that? And David sitting down and talking to Porky. Do you think David could convince Porky to leave Eddie Hearn alone? That would be quite interesting. David Haye. I wonder what he thinks. It's good for it is. You got to laugh in it because these times are. You know what? I'd love David to just switch up one day and just put it on. All these interviewers. Do you remember what David used to do back in the day with George Groves? He used to mock the question that was being asked. I'd like to see that David Haye back again, just for a couple of these interviewers, make it a bit more difficult for them. Really surprised that David never pursued his acting career, as his original plan was to be Klitschko, retire at 30 and get an acting. Wonder why he never went that route. Well, I don't know. But whatever happened with David, he hasn't done too bad for himself, has he? He hasn't done too bad for himself. David could fall in a snake pit and come up with wearing snake shoes. He could. David is awesome. David is awesome. David is awesome. He is. I have to say he is. I'll have to end the stream soon because it's ridiculous. And I'm sure somehow or the other this stream is going to get to David Haye. I guarantee you he's going to get to watch this video. But would you accept David Haye as your MP? What people don't realise is that I'm more handsome than Sean Connery in his heyday. When people realise that, that's when they'll get it. Yeah, they don't know what they're missing with me as James Bond. You know? David Haye could fall into a pile of cat poo and come out smelling of roses. He could. Again, I would love to interview David and ask him how he was become so persuasive. And I wonder if, because David wasn't always like that. If you watch David when he started his career, and he started talking, he's talking about Carl Thompson. And remember he had that fight in the penthouse? That fight, and it was with the whole, what's it? Playboy Man. He had that fight at Playboy Mansion. I think he met Hugh Hefner as well. Yeah. I was saying something. I forgot what I was saying about David. Yeah. I would love to know if it's actually Adam Booth with his, I think he's got a degree or master's in psychology. I wonder if it's that and being around Booth that has made David Haye the salesman that he is today. Because he must have had mentorship from somebody. And if he got mentorship, I'd like to know who that mentor is. Because I have to say, he's a great salesman. So I think I'm going to end the stream now on this. David Haye. My prediction for David Haye is that he becomes MP for Bermondsey. I don't know who the MP for Bermondsey is, but watch out. David Haye's going to take the job. David Haye, if there was ever going to be a black prime minister, well, half black, David Haye. But I would love to sit down and talk to the Hayemaker and ask him some questions about politics and whether he sees himself as a politician. What does he identify as a man? Does he identify himself as a black man, as a white man, is he mixed? When he's in conversation, where does he see himself? Where does he see himself in the future? Could he ever see himself as a prime minister? Is politics something he'd get himself into? I would love to know. Yeah, I'm gonna go and do the Man United thing in a minute. I'm gonna go and see if I can win the title for the first time with Man United. So yeah, I hope you've been enjoying that. Right, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go and do some gaming now. I hope you've enjoyed this very light-hearted video of David Haye. And David, wherever you are in the world listening to this, man, I got maximum love for you. I did an interview with you. I said at the George Groves Frotch fight how many years ago, and I asked you about the way George Groves' mouth opened when Frotch shook his hand, tried to do push and pull, and George Groves' mouth opened, and you burst out laughing. It was great. If I were in the media world in that sense, in terms of being in press conferences and seeing you around fight time, you're the guy I'd love to interview all the time. I won't talk to anybody else in British boxing but you. I just love David Haye because, we need someone like that in these times, these dark times we have here with this second lockdown. We need people like David Haye to keep us entertained. So I think he'd make a great, David Haye would make a great mayor for London. I think he'd make a great MP for Bermondsey. And no disrespect to the guy for Bermondsey. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl for Bermondsey, but it's not David Haye. So David's already convinced me he should be the MP of Bermondsey. So I've got to check out and see who the MP of Bermondsey is. And someone needs to have a serious word with David Haye and say, you need to get into politics, mate. Check my tweets, haha. We'll tag this stream link, please do. Trump 2020. Maybe, mate. But at the moment, it looks like Biden 2020. Maybe Trump 2024. Who knows? Right. But for now, I'm going to end on saying, hey, 2020. Next MP for Bermondsey. Next Prime Minister of England. The British Prime Minister of British Boxing. He's the spokesperson for British Boxing. He's the only thing that matters in British boxing. David Haye. Used car salesman Haye. Hey, he ain't no more used than Eddie Hearn. David Haye, there's always somebody in the room that wants to come in and ruin the spirit in it. They can't enjoy the fun. But for the most of you, thank you so much for enjoying the evening. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. David Haye, Bermondsey MP. David Haye, Prime Minister of England. David Haye, figure for the spokesman for the free state. David Haye and David Icke together on a show. David Haye and Prince Naseem Hamed for boxing. In fact, Prince Naseem Hamed and David Haye, commentary team for Sky Sports. I think that's the future. David Haye on BT Sports, could have that as well. Yeah. I tell you what, just to make it even more exciting, David Haye, Prince Naseem Hamed, and throwing Tyson Fury or Peter Fury or John Fury, any one of the Fury family with David Haye and Prince Naseem Hamed, those three together in a room together. Brilliant. You can rotate the Furies, whichever one, whether it be Peter, John, or Tyson, all three of them in a room together, talking boxing. Listen, that's pay-per-view in itself. I'd love to have those three. You know what I would do? If I was in that position, you know what I'd do? I would have Sky Sports commentary in one room. I would have David Haye, Tyson Fury, or a Fury, and Prince Naseem in the other room doing commentary as well. And you could put the commentary side by side and see what you'd listen to. But I think David Haye is pay-per-view for me. Absolute pay-per-view. Recycling Chisora. Oh, my word. Some people don't get it. And on that note, there are some people that get it and some people that don't. David Haye gets it. I'm sure you do too. Have a great evening. And let's just pray for this lockdown to come and go. And we all come and end up unscathed, and everyone still be well and COVID free. And let's look for a good Christmas and a brilliant 2021. I'm out here. Oh, by the way, just as I finish, I'll do another video. I've got another topic I'd like to talk to you a lot about, but on another video. Take care. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments as always. I'm out. Take care.